Hey everyone, welcome to this next video. So in this one, we're going to be looking at the two main ways of actually how to enter certain order blocks. Could be any kind of point of interest, whether it's some kind of breaker block or even some liquidity or imbalance. We've explored these types of concepts in previous videos, so definitely check them out. We've even started to get a bit into fundamentals as well. So, how I express that quite frequently, always involving fundamentals with technical analysis. But for now, we'll just look at the two main types of how to enter certain order blocks. In this case, the way I teach it would be a risk trade versus a confirmation trade. Now, before we get into everything, just a quick note about what's been going on recently. Massive growth on the channel, hit 10K subscribers last week. Could not even dream of this happening so early. I've only been doing this for about 2 months. And pretty much daily on Instagram, I've been getting messages for people asking, "Oh, can you bring back the discount that we had, in early January?" So, because we hit 10K subscribers, I'm going to be putting that back on for now. Even almost hit 5K followers. But in terms of the actual sales that I'll be making from this, depending on when you're actually looking at this video, there's been a lot of conflict going on between Ukraine and Russia, and for me, it's something that's close to heart. So everything that I'm going to be making from, all the sales in these next 2 weeks up until 13th of February, 20% of all my earnings I'm going to be given to a charity in that cause, just because of where I'm from and, Kosovo and Serbia conflict, even 20 years ago, for like it's such a similar situation. So yeah, going to keep that going on. In terms of the sale, if you guys are interested, the two types of packages. You've got the technical and fundamental courses combined and the trading channel included. And then the trading channel package just by itself as well. Of course, these are all lifetime subscriptions. So none of that monthly rubbish around here. But yeah, all links here. You'll get to this sign up area and then the two main types. So in terms of the technical fundamental course, you've got all here. And then in terms of the trading channel, you get the 20 video technical course. And of course, you can see some of the results that we've been hitting from all my entries that I've been sending in there. But yeah, guys, let's get straight back into the video and see what we've got. So in terms of risk versus confirmation entries, this is one of the lessons that we'll be looking from the technical course. So this is just half of it. The fundamentals is the second part. But yeah, let's just imagine we've got this cell set up, completely marked up on our weekly analysis. We've got a few points of interest. So I'll just quickly annotate where I would keep my points of interests. First of all, my first one would be something. So if we started, for example, the week at this point right here, we know fundamentals are saying sells. So number 5, fundamentals are suggesting sells. We're at this point on Sunday. We have a few points of interest marked up. Both are very valid. You've got liquidity void right below. So what this means, it pretty much no resistance in that direction towards the downside. So like a clean straight candle down, nothing, like that going on. But 2 points of interest, we've got this one right here, and then this one up top too. So both are very valid, but how do we know which one to actually enter? And this is the problem that I get, I frequently get messages about this, and it's not like there's a golden rule, but you actually need to adapt it into your strategy and how to react to these areas. So we've got area of premium price. So here and here, anything above 61.8 fib retracement is what I would consider premium area. Then we've got reacted of previous point of interest. So up here, we've reacted of some kind of order block. Here would be, for example, off the breaker block. So we know it's a double mitigation type of entry. We've got filled liquidity void. So as you can see from here and here, and then liquidity at the bottom as take profit. So I'll just clear up these drawings a bit. What happens? We've got to this stage. Here was Sunday. Here, let's just say it was Tuesday. So a good time in the weekly sort of cycle for us to be selling. Now we're at this point. How do we actually enter? I'll give you a few examples of how you could do so. Now, the first example would be a risk entry. What this means is your point of interest would actually be set as a limit. Now, depending on what time frame you're working on, this could be on the 1 hour, could be on the 4 hour, So your stop loss might be somewhere between, let's just say 20 to 30 pips, something like that. Now, the benefits of this is you rarely miss trades and there's no need to stay on the charts. You could go along with your full-time job and just keep that on the side. However, it's a bit more risky because you're not watching the reaction to the area. Other things might impact this as well, such as news that comes out at the time, especially what's been going on recently with the whole conflict between Ukraine and Russia. The risk sentiment that's flowing through the market at the moment is crazy. It's been very hard to actually trade. So I've been very conservative. I only taken one trade in the past 2 weeks. That's the only entry I've been sending out to my group. So lower risk to reward. In terms of confirmation entries, what that's going to mean is something like this. You have your point of interest up here. Go up top, have some kind of break of structure. I'm going to be explaining that now in the next few slides, and then enter, for example, down here. So rather than having this as your stop loss, you can have something like this. So you see, it's just how your strategy is going to be based, how much time you've got on the charts. Personally, I prefer to take confirmation trades. So you'll be seeing through a lot of the work that I show in the next few slides. Now let's look at an example on the markets. So I believe this was Euro USD. This was from obviously when I made the course back in August time of 2021. So Euro USD, I believe this was on the 15-minute time frame. So let's just say that we've reacted on the higher time frame point of interest over here. So fundamentals are telling us that we should be looking for buys at the time. Of course, I can't remember exactly what type of chart this is, but this was something that I sent into the group even back then, to be honest. Now, just quickly marking up what we have. We have liquidity to the upside. We have some secondary structural breaks. So please look back at the video that I uploaded. Sorry, 1 second here. Which one was it? Yeah, strong versus weak market structure. I believe it was that one right there. A lot of good information that you can learn from that. But yeah, secondary structural breaks. We've got this buildup of liquidity up here. So now what we're waiting for is for price to pull back and then for us to enter. So what would be our potential point of interest? Well, for me personally, I'm going to be waiting for this liquidity void to be filled. And then the only unmitigated area right here. Stop loss could be somewhere below that. Let's look at it in more depth. So now, here's what we have on the lower time frames. We've had this buildup of liquidity at the top, liquidity void here to be filled, and then exactly this order block right here. Now, what are the ways you could have entered? Now, you could have got a very clean 1 to 5 take profit being hit. Stop loss, leaving it a bit more conservative down below these lows. So we have a bit of breathing room for our trades. If you're working full time, for example, you're not going to be able to monitor the market every single second. But let's actually look at the other view as well. What if we enter a confirmation trade? So remember where we are sort of in the market, we're looking at this area right here. When we're looking at a confirmation trade, this is what it's going to look like. Now, price has gone into that high time frame point of interest. Let's just say that was on the 15-minute. So now we're looking for some kind of break of structure to the upside. As soon as we get that, we can confirm that we are now moving into bullish structure. So bullish, of course, we're looking for buys. So for me personally, when I was looking at this chart, I had this area marked up on the 1 minute for us to get that break. As you can see here, we still never got that break up. So I wasn't going to be entering anything like down here. It's too risky for me. Instead, what I was waiting for was for up here. Wait for price to break the structure. So we got that right there. And then in terms of entry, believe it was actually on the 1 minute. So this one's showing the 5 minute. On the 1 minute, it was a very clean, unmitigated candle right here. I've left my stop loss just past it. So just to conclude, ultimately, these entry types depend on the type of trader that you choose to be. How long do you want to stay in the markets? Do you seek the high risk to reward trades or safer, smaller risk to reward? And your schedule, how active you can be. Many of my students at the moment, they're all working full time and everything, so they can't be on the charts all the time. That's why, all my entries that I send out are always there to help them to get into the markets. But let's actually look at an example of the real life application of this. Now, what I'm going to be doing is showing a very clear sort of a type of 1 to 5 trade that you can get quite cleanly. We'll just get my Discord up just to show one of the charts. So in this example, we're going to be looking at one of the recent trades I've sent out in February. This one is Euro NZD, and then AD JPY as well. Both were sent out. But we had here, yeah, AD JPY and then Euro NZD overall for 5R between both. So it was nice and conservative. But let's actually look at the chart. So this is what unfolded since then. Obviously, a lot of risk sentiment running through the markets. Of course, things like gold are going crazy at the moment. But yeah, let's go back to. Oh, let's just pick out the point. Okay, let's just go here. So what did I actually see in the market that was taking place? For that Euro NZD sell, we had this marked up on the weekly analysis. So let's just look on the high time frame first, just to quickly understand everything that was going on. In terms of fundamentals, I'll quickly explain it. The euro at that time had very dovish outlooks. What that means, they weren't looking to hike interest rates throughout this year. NZD was a lot more progressive. They've already been increasing interest rates. So long term, we're looking for Euro NZD sells. Now, we know that point. So fundamentals checks out. In terms of actually selling, then what can we see in the market structure? We see this downtrend, right? Below this primary structural low, we broke past it. And now we're waiting for this pullback. And this pullback came up to this very nice area. So as soon as we got to this area, this is what I was looking for. Let's just go on the 1 hour. Let's break down some of what happened. So we'll quickly play through it. And of course, yep. So quickly just sprung into this point of interest and then started to reject off. Now I'll explain to you what type of entries you could have gotten for this. Now, personally, I managed to get into a confirmation entry for this, and you'll see exactly how they entered. So as you can see, literally just entered and then kept dropping to this. This was the first take profit. And then we were aiming for much lower as well, but fundamentals came in at the time. Some news about the euro having a different view at the time. They said we might consider interest rate hikes this year. But yeah, let's go on the lower time frames. Now, if you really wanted to, this is what you could have entered on. We've got this sell side liquidity right here. So that would have been our first take profit. You could have simply entered on a limit like this. Now, of course, longer term, we're aiming for much lower. So you would still get higher risk to reward, but you would get something as simple as what, a 1 to 2, 1 to 2.15, really not much in there. However, if we're waiting for a confirmation trade, and this is personally what I like to do a lot more, I identify my area on the 1 or 4 hour time frame, even going down to the 15-minute. But when I'm looking for my confirmation trades, this is what I'm looking at. In terms of 5-minute chart, what have we started to get here? This buildup of liquidity at the top. So you see that? Price started to consolidate around that time. So let's just look at the timing as well. Yeah, all of this happened during Asia. So for me personally, that's a very good sign. If I see consolidation during Asian range, that's exactly what I want to be seeing. So we got that little confirmation. Then in terms of the timing of the actual trade, this happened during London session. So for me, that's another perfect confirmation. We started to get these breaks of structures down. So even things like here as well, another break of structure. And then what happened? We had these unmitigated areas right here. So this is what I had marked up on the 5-minute. And then when you actually look on the 15-minute, I believe it's the limit sort of lines up with everything. That's why I kept it a bit more conservative. But if you really wanted to, I'll just keep that as mitigated. Yeah. If you really wanted to, you could do something like this. You could narrow it all the way down to this very refined 5-minute point of interest. And that's exactly how you could have entered. What would that have looked like? Let's just see, even up till take profit 1, what we had. something like this. So what's that? A 1 to 16. Now, personally, because I'm trading on my funded account and everything, I don't want to be risking that, that much, having such a small stop loss that could easily take me out. Rather, I'd go for them simple 1 to 5s, catch that 2.5% a week, 3% a week, whatever it may be, and then overall just be good over the rest of the month. But yeah, pretty much through this video, we've gone through everything, how to apply it into the live markets. Of course, if you're asking, has this been sent in? Yes. Before we even hit, as you can see, this point of interest was right here, and that's exactly what we entered off. But yeah, group has been going crazy as well in here. I mean, we've surpassed 100 members in this group. If you look past in my YouTube videos, you'll see how that's been recently. But yeah, massive growth. I just want to keep going on with this and keep the momentum up. But yeah, if you're interested, this discount is going to be going on for another 2 weeks from the start of this upload. So 13th of February. But yeah, 20% of all my profits from that are going to be going to a charity in that cause, just to help out with the situation in Ukraine and Russia at the moment. It's something that is really emotional, and want to help out with anything that I can really. But yeah, anyways, guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.